The region of the second chakra and the first chakra is also the region of what we call, in the language of the vayus, the 5 vayus, it is apana vayu, the vayu responsible for elimination. So when you aim to welcome the breath to breathe you, it's also possible that you have some garbage disposal responsibilities, some elimination. And what we might mean by that is reducing tension in the body, particularly in the lower dantian. But it also may be that it's time for you to send downstream some particular kinds of mental tension or physical tension. It's particularly important that we're able to do that, setting aside the past unresolved emotions or mind habits, the things that are now outdated. And actually setting aside isn't really the right phrase. It's setting it into the stream to go downstream, letting it go. That which is no longer serving you, no longer useful, or outdated. Maybe there's particular forms of clinging or aversion that you could say, you know, I don't really need that so much now. My resistance to that made sense at that time, but it's no longer your contemporary issue. It's no longer current for you. Or a sense of clinging in that particular direction is no longer of interest to you, and it need not hang around. Now welcome the Ujjayi breath to be a support, kind of like a chaperone for you for this process, and give particular attention to how the exhale kind of zips up the tone of the deep low belly, and then how the inhale broadens the pelvic floor just even slightly, and then fills out the pelvic basin before rising into the mid-torso and up to the heart. You can think, let's think of this as the sort of cleansing cycle in the body, that with the inhale, you're getting this fresh experience of vitality. And the exhale, the breath releases by going up and out through the nose. Even though apana vayu goes down, the pathway of the breath to release, the exit pathway is north of the abdomen. It has to go up and out through the nostrils. And then place your hands together at your heart. And we'll chant again, Asatoma Satgamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya. Namasoma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya. Namasoma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityodama Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Open your eyes. But one of my considerations being at Brighton Bush Hot Springs the last several days is that it was brilliantly sunny and much warmer than it would have been in years past, particularly when I was a resident there. I taught my yoga retreats after I left Brighton Bush since 1996 until the fires. I taught in April, August, and December. So I haven't been a regular visitor in May and June. And now I've been there twice in recent times. It's much sunnier, much warmer, and much more clear skied than it was when I lived there. So I'm so much aware when I'm there of the climate situation. And I was talking with my driver and chaperone, Helmut. Thank you again for being my transport home. And Christine took me up to the mountains. Thank you again. We were talking as we were coming back down into civilization, right, into society, about the climate situation and about our cultural propensity for holding on to things. You know, we're driving down the mountain and there's a lot to see. There's homes of certain sizes. There's also these storage units where people have their stuff stored, stuff that's stored that's not in their home, the stuff that's in this storage unit, right? And then there's all the ways in which you can see all the shopping opportunities, all the places to go buy more things. And this is only one piece of our conversation, but I want us to consider when we're practicing this morning, as we're letting go of some of our rubbish, what might we become as role models or ambassadors for our culture to hold on to stuff less, to cling less? The word for this in the yamas and niyamas is called Aparigraha. It means non-hoarding, non-possessiveness, non-grasping, like non-accumulating of the stuff. So that's my message for us this morning. And let's think of it not only as stuff, but as mind stuff too, as not having to accumulate more mind stuff. So that being said, now I'd like you to sit in Sukhasana. Cross your ankles. So your seat is a little bit more narrow, like this. Place your hands out over your knees, make them firm. And when you inhale Ujjayi, rise up into a cow pose spine. And then exhale and curl down into your cat pose spine and pay special attention to the deep low abdomen. And then inhale, curl up and forward. And exhale, curl down and inward. This time as you roll up, we're going to stay up. So rise up like a cow pose spine. And then rotate your head to the left. And rise up. Still a bit of a slight back bend here. And rotate to your right. Inhale, rise up, a little bit of a back bend. And exhale, curl down. Now, keeping this downward inward place, bring your chin over towards your left shoulder. And then center and over towards the right shoulder. And then center. And inhale, rise up to your base seat. Clasp your hands and inhale to go up. Side bend to your left. Inhale to center. Side bend right. Inhale, rise. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, rise. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, rise. That which is stabilizing you is at the second and first chakra. Exhale the arms wide. Reach back to interlace your fingers. Inhale, roll up and make a back bend of it. And then exhale, come upright and squeeze the arms back. Bring your chin down towards your throat. And then roll the belly in towards the sacrum. And then release your hands out over your knees. Bring the soles of your feet together, padottanasna. You can hold the big toes, you can hold the ankles, whatever's within reach for you. And inhale to pull up like your cow pose spine. Now, when we go up like this, let's stay a few breath cycles and see if you can sense a connection between the first and second chakras, going all the way up, but especially to the fifth chakra. Open the throat. And then exhale, curl your chin down. And as you roll down, round your spine. Deliberately make it like a cat pose spine. You're holding your toes or ankles, so you've got a firm place to broaden the back body from. And then roll the pubic bone down, sitting bones back and down, and rise up again, cow pose. Follow your exhale to roll down, and deliberately do move the pelvis in the action as well. Inhale, roll up. And last time, exhale to roll down. Now rise up, and as you're sitting, just let's test drive this here. Can you pick up the right foot? And then bring it back down. And can you do the same with the left? And is it possible to do that without leaning over or falling over? Right? Left. Remember that you're all very tiny to me because I don't have my big monitor out here. So what I'm seeing is shapes moving. I'm seeing your feet are making the effort. Okay, so that's an action that we're going to be looking at a little bit later in class. And how do you maintain the stability to reach up without having to lean over to do it? You're really going from inside the pelvic basin here. Okay, so now let's change the cross of the ankles to Sukhasana with the right shin on the outside, please. Bring your attention down to the dantian. Place your hands out over your knees. Bhastrika. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Up to suspension. Okay, left hand to the right knee. Exhale, twist to your right. Come to center. Second time. Exhale. Inhale to suspension. Exhale, twist left. Come to center. Place one hand in the lap of the other. At the second chakra, the sound is WAM, spelled V-A-M. Vam, 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 vam. Vam, vam, vam. Vam, 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 vam. Vam, 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 vam. Vam, vam, vam. Let's make a shift to come up to standing. Rise up to a wide stance, please. And I'll shift my camera in just a moment. Oh, I guess it's okay for where we're going to be. Come down to prasarita, padottanasna. Now, so when you come down, of course, you can always use blocks if you need them. We're going to be going side to side, so just give a little check when you go to your left. When you go to your right, you have the space for that. Let's start with the fingers beneath the shoulders, please. So here in the center, or returning to center, is the Ujjayi inhale. When we exhale, I'm going to ask you to blow out through a tiny straw in the lips. So it's a longer exhale. It's a slowed down exhale. And there may be an increase of tone at the pelvic floor and the inner belly. So inhale through the nose, Ujjayi. Then exhale to the right, bend your right knee deeply and blow the breath out slowly through the tiny straw of the lips. Use the ujjayi to come back up to center, keeping the spine long. Exhale left. Inhale to center. Exhale right. At your own pace, inhale to center. At your pace, exhale to the left. Inhale to center and gaze down between your fingers. When you exhale to the right, towards the end of the breath and the end of the movement, start including your upper back, your neck, and your head in a twist to the right. And once more left. So as you're going to the left, also let the last part of the movement include rotating your heart, your head, your eyes. Look about. And then inhale, glide back up to center. Make the feet parallel and come down to your basic prasarita padottanasna. Inhale, glide forward through your heart using the ujjayi breath. And exhale for a deep bow between the legs, also using the ujjayi breath. Please glide forward again. Exhale to bow again, and we'll do it once more following this one. And one more time, exhale to bow. Now hands to your hips, and please rise up to standing. Turn the heels in and the toes out, and come down to your jazz dance warm-up pose. I know that parts of what you can see from me are more clear than others. Yeah, and that's the camera and the sun, so thanks for accepting it. So as you press out through the inner thighs now, on the inhale, slide the pubic bone slightly back, press into both arms, and raise your chest and heart forward, like a cow pose. And then exhale, curl the tailbone down and under, press into both arms, make a little bit of a cat pose spine. So with the inhale, start at the pubic bone and the tailbone to glide back. Let the spine undulate forward and up, open the throat. And then exhale, and the tailbone, the pubic bone, change directions like a cat pose spine. And again, please, twice more. One more time. And then bring that to neutral for the pelvis and for your spine. Gaze down on the floor in front of you, and we're going to come to Kapalabhati. Exhale. And then inhale, rise up, raise the arms up, make the feet parallel, please. And exhale, come down to prasarita padottanasana. And when you come down, exhale completely. And now with the head lower than the heart, come back to the reflection. What might you be able to let go of in terms of apana vayu, the clearing out of the first two chakras? Not just elimination in terms of the physical, biological process of the body, but also what might you be able to release downstream? And then exhale completely, raise your hands to your hips and rise up to standing, of course, in your own timing. And then you can watch here for a moment. So when we go down now, we're going to be using the fingers over the big toes. And I know that not all fingers are going to reach all big toes. Not all fingers are long enough, or maybe the toes are too tiny, or the arms are short and the legs are long. Of course, I'm making that up. It's mostly your structure, yes, and musculoskeletal elasticity. So if you can't hold the big toes, you can improvise. It goes like this. So with the big toes here, and when we come down to one side, you see how the left hand, this is actually my right hand, but let's call it my left. The left hand stays with the toes, and there's an elongation of the inner seam of the leg, but also this lengthening from the upper back and the heart into the left fingertips. We'll go up and then we change to the other side, and the toes are turned just slightly out. This is going to become a twist like this. And then you'll be coming back down and we'll go to the other side. And of course, we'll twist in that direction too. So yes, the feet are turned slightly out because it's going to make more sense to your ankles, knees, and hips. So come on down. Yeah. Let's take the big toes. Think of it as a playful thing. I know you're standing on your fingers. So inhale, glide the spine forward. And then exhale, bend your right knee and keep the left fingers strong on the left toe. Inhale, glide up to center. Exhale to the left. You can keep the right arm straight. The left arm, of course, can bend. Inhale up to center. Make the pose kind of taut with the structure of the body. Let the breath fill that up. Exhale, bend the right knee. Come to your right. Now keeping the left leg and fingers as they are. Inhale, twist to your right. And exhale, return your right fingers to the big toe. Inhale, glide to center, make the pose taut so the breath has this beautiful space to fill up. Exhale, bend the left knee, keep the right leg strong. Inhale, twist to your left. And exhale, left fingertips down to reunite with the toe. Inhale, glide to center. Exhale, glide to your right. Inhale, twist right, keeping the left fingers strong against the left big toe. And exhale, come down. One more time, inhale to center. And last time, exhale to your left. Keep the right leg strong. And inhale, twist left. Exhale, glide down. Inhale, rise to center. And exhale, prasarita padottanasna. Hands to your hips. Rise up to standing. And let's go. Heel toe, heel toe. Heel toe, heel toe. Into center. mountain pose. Check and see how things are feeling. And listen sort of closely enough to the subtle body. Like, what is happening? Not only circulation and respiration, but even deeper than that. Now, sorry, namaskar. Let me change the angle of the so the sun is rising this way. I'll face this direction. Yes, I was disoriented earlier. This is why I'm also not driving yet. My brain injury. The sun is rising over here. I think I said at the beginning of class, oh, it's behind me. Yeah, it does come across the yard that way based on where the trees are in the neighborhood. If you're able to face to the actual east in your space, go ahead and do so. I have that opportunity this morning. Normally, when I practice with you guys, I'm in this room and I'm facing this way. So often I'm substituting the south for the east, but right now I get to have the east directly. Please bring your blocks onto your mat. Join your palms together. Okay, come to the Ujjayi breath. And when you're ready to begin, hands down, palms forward, rise up. And exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward, raise up on your fingertips, open your throat. Exhale, left toes back. Inhale to rise. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward. Left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, rise. Do your best to keep the legs stable. And then exhale, arms wide. And as you descend, touch the blocks firmly. Inhale to plank pose. Exhale, squeeze your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, plank. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, plank. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, plank. Right knee, left elbow. Inhale, plank. And then exhale, downward dog and left foot forward. That can be one exhale. Inhale, rise, crescent. And exhale, glide forward, take the left arm back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, glide. Inhale to rise. Exhale, glide. Place your hands firmly. Inhale, plank pose. Left knee, left elbow. Plank, inhale. Left knee, right elbow. Plank pose. Left elbow. Right elbow. Plank pose. Downward facing dog pose. Enjoy a deep breath in. Notice how the low belly lets go after some exertion. And then exhale, awkward foot forward, second foot forward, uttanasana. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Reach back and interlace your fingers, please. Roll your shoulders back. Squeeze the arms back if you're able to. And with the tailbone anchored, the hips can come forward just as far as the line of the toes. Let's come into a standing back bend. And then inhale, rise up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, glide forward. Place both hands and exhale, step backwards, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale to plank. Exhale, cow pose. Inhale, seal pose. Exhale, coming down through high and low cobra onto the belly. Reach back and interlace your fingers. Inhale, rise up, Salambhasana. Exhale, glide down, pranam. Just bow the forehead to the floor. Inhale, rise up, Salambhasana. And exhale, glide down, bow your heart and your head to the floor. Once more going up. Glide down, and then place your hands on your blocks firmly. So this is sometimes called grasshopper pose because we had to make a name for it. And your elbows are poking up towards the ceiling. So bring your chest and heart up to low cobra pose. And then press down and rise up to high cobra pose. And then root down, rise up to seal pose. Raise and open your heart, your throat, and your gaze. And exhale, plank pose. Okay, inhale, downward facing dog. Then let's bring the right foot forward. Keep the crescent lunge base for your legs. Reach back to clasp your hands. And inhale, rise up, crescent. Exhale, bow forward, make the left leg steady. So when you come forward, the torso can bow down near to the inside of your right thigh, just like yesterday's practice. And then we'll inhale to rise up. And the pelvis is the moving part here, like a wheel. It's the pelvis that rotates to bring you up and down. But the legs can be stable and the arms and shoulders can be consistent as well. Let's go up one more time. And then exhale. This time when you bow forward, do your very best to keep the right foot stable, right outer hip stable, and just glide the left heel straight back, slightly in, and then down to the floor. Encourage the torso to release down past your right upper inner thigh. Your gaze could be back at your left heel here. And then lower the hands down to the small of your back, down to the two blocks. And let's put the left palm on the block flat or the left forearm on the block flat. Hold your right shin with your left hand. Take your right hand to your right knee and twist to your right. In the twisting to your right, do keep the left inner thigh strong and the left heel grounded. And rotate the inner belly to the right. Keep the outer right hip toned, so it should not feel like you're doing the hula with the right hip off to the right. And then as you exhale, start gazing down, position your left block so you can use it, and step backwards to plank pose. Now in plank pose, pause and notice what's happening with the right leg, energetically, circulation, temperature, and then reach high to downward facing dog pose. Let's bring the left foot forward. Make the right toe strong. We'll put the heel down a little bit later. So right now, basic lunge pose. Reach back to clasp your hands. Set up your arms and shoulders. And then using the wheel of the pelvis, inhale, rise up. And exhale, bow forward. Of course, you're going to move at your body's pace here. So your breath cycle, your inner chaperone, as it were. Let's go up one more time. And this time as you come down, now keep the left outer hip stable. Take the right heel straight back, then slightly in and down to the floor. Invite the torso to bow down just to the inside of your left thigh. Let's keep the upper inner right thigh strong. And then lay your hands gently on the small of your back. Position the block for your right hand or your right forearm as you'd like it to be. Hold on to your left shin with your right hand and twist to your left. Keep the right leg stable behind you. And then when you're ready to transition by placing both blocks in a stable position and step back to plank pose and place your attention on the left leg. And then touch both knees down, take one block to sit on in Vajrasana, or two blocks if you need, of course. When you take your seat like this, rest your hands in your lap. Let your attention drop downward. Second chakra, first chakra. It's called Svadhisthana and Muladhara. You might ask, what are you able to let go of? What can you send downstream? Now, specifically with the emotions of the chakras, at the second chakra, we're really looking at what we can resolve by way of loss or sorrow or grief, very, very important emotion, what we can metabolize in those realms. Sadness, sorrow, loss, or grief. And at the first chakra, we're asking what we can release in terms of fear or anxiety, apprehension. Okay, let's transition where you're able to, you can come up to sit where you like, where you can see me for a moment. We're going to do a pose. I'm going to change the angle so you can see my feet once again. So we're going to work on something familiar, but with a slight variation to it. It's a pose called parsvottasana, and it becomes the pose called parvrrta trikonasana. What I want to add is how you hold on to the big toe. So if I put this so that let's clear this, you can see. Do my right foot forward, left foot back. So the distance for prasarita padottanasana is longer. The distance for the crescent lunge is longer. The distance for parrsvottasana is a little bit shorter than those. And it's pretty much the same distance for your parvrrta trikonasana. So here in parrsvottasana, we have the option of clasping the hands to come down. That does make this a balance pose, a pose of concentration. And when we go to parvrrta trikonasana, you have the option of the block directly under your left shoulder, the block in line with the right foot, the block to the outside of the right foot, or this morning you can do it where you put the big toe and the fingers, the first two fingers together, and when you're pulling up with the twist, you want to have a sense that the toe is pressing down. So there's this connection between the top fingers and the foot and the toe and the fingers here. So those are some previews for you. So let's set you up so that your right foot is forward, please. Left foot back. For some of you, put the left foot back, but make your feet wider left to right so that the distance left to right is going to give you a little easier time with your balance. And then please stay upright. Reach back to interlace the fingers. Roll your shoulders back. Root down through the tailbone. And rise up like a cow pose. And then as you root down into both feet, firm the muscles of your left hip, right thigh, left thigh, both knees, both calves, both feet. Parrsvottasana. This is a balance pose right now. It's also an inward and downward pose. In the process of letting go of apana vayu, the process of that downward release, we do imagine that there's some levity to come or some lightness to come. So let's place the hands now on your two blocks, wherever you happen to have them. And decide for yourself, you can experiment, where would you like the left fingers to be for parvrrta trikonasana? And some of that might depend upon the length of your hamstrings, of course. And then rotate to parvrrta trikonasana. Turn the lower belly to the right. And then with an exhalation, having sort of touched the sky or the ceiling, come back down from parvrrta trikonasana to parsvottasana. Bend the right knee and step your left foot forward and your right foot back. I'm going to turn to face the other way so I get to have the front foot still be the one that you can see. Okay, so once you get the feet established, then rise up, please, and clasp the hands. Roll your shoulders open. Root the tailbone down. Rise up. Maybe even some freedom is already experienced in the second chakra. With the legs steady, start coming forward slowly. Tone the outer hips, thighs, hamstrings, quads, your knees, your ankles. Do not hyperextend the knees, please. Okay, downward, inward pose. And release your hands and experiment again with where you'd like to be placing your right hand for parvrrta trikonasana. And establishing your personal choice, then begin to twist. Raise your left fingers to the sky. And then follow your exhale back down to parsvottasana. Bend your left knee. Step the right foot forward to meet the left foot. You're in uttanasana there. And then place the two blocks where you can use them thoughtfully. Cross your ankles and come down to Sukhasana. Take a seat. Place your hands out over your knees. If possible, for this Sukhasana, don't sit on your blanket. So your hips are going to be lower. They'll be like in the little valley of the thighs. See if your torso can be upright there. And go inside the pelvis. You can ask, okay, what's happening there now? And then holding on to the big toes. Pick up your knees and your ankles. Hug the legs towards the chest and the heart. Draw the shoulders back, upper arms back, elbows back. So you're balancing just on the sitting bones, the tailbone, the lower part of the sacrum. Lengthen up through the spine. Place the ankles down, change the ankle cross, and come back up. And then release down. That was like a little snugness for the low belly, a little squeeze there. Let's now come to Shavasana, please. Stretch the legs out. Stretch the mind out. Right. In Shavasana, we get to actually practice the art of letting go. This is Shavasana in English is called the corpse pose. So it's a reminder that our lives are in fact finite. We can ask ourselves, how much do we actually need? What are we holding on to? And how might we be more free to really enjoy, to feel with our senses freed up to be in the present? Really welcome yourself to have this process. The mind is not elsewhere. The process of letting go. How might your inner life and your senses be more able to soak in the present? Allow the process to continue on its own by not letting the mind wander away. Allow your body to rest deeply for one more minute. Remind yourself that the letting go is related to the soaking in. All your senses will be free to experience the present as it is. Asatona Samaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mridyorma Amritam Gamaya Om Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namah Hari Om. Please make a thoughtful transition into your seat for meditation. So we can share some time together. Please bring your hands together at your heart. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. I will come up to see you.